Folks, well, guess what? It is 7:29 on the East Coast, and that means that in exactly 24 hours and 1 minute, polls are going to close in the last major special election test before the big midterms in November. And this race has suddenly become a barn burner. It's in the 12th district of Ohio, dead middle of the state, right around the Columbus area. Danny O'Connor, the Democrat, Troy Balderson, the Republican. We got polls showing this thing dead even now. The backdrop, this is a Republican district, the 12th district of Ohio. John Kasich, he used to represent it in Congress. In 2016, it went for Trump by 11 points. In 2012, it went for Romney by 11 points. But if you've been following these special elections, you know Democrats have been able to make gains so far right around 10, 11 points on average in these House special elections. So what are we going to look for tomorrow night? If it's a dead even race, believe me, I'm going to be at this board all night watching the returns come in. I want to give you a little bit of a preview of what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. Let's take a closer look at the district, because this district is fascinating. It is really a story of the two different Americas we talk about so much in terms of how 2016 happened. One group we talk about college educated, upscale, white collar professionals, suburbanites. Well, that's a big part of this district, at least in terms of population. It's right here. You see, this is a sort of part of Columbus right here, upscale suburbs right outside Columbus, bleeding over into Delaware County. Really, more than half the vote in the district is going to come out of right here. You see Franklin County, that's Columbus. Hillary Clinton won this by 18 points. That was a big surge in the Democrats' direction. A third of the votes coming out of Franklin, that's the Democratic base. So tomorrow night, the question is going to be, is O'Connor able to match or even exceed Hillary Clinton's number there? And what's the turnout like there? Delaware County here, again, you're talking suburbs. Trump won it by 16, but for a Republican, that's bad. These are Republicans who some of them at least, were not comfortable with Trump. So again, if that Republican number there is close to 55 tomorrow, that's very good news for the Democrats. But the rest of this district, right up here, sort of the northern part, right down here, Licking, Muskingum County, Zanesville, Mansfield up here. This is the other America we talk about so much. Blue-collar, white, non-college white, huge, and I mean huge swings in 2016 to Donald Trump. While this part of the district was swinging away from Trump down here. How about this? The portion of Muskingum County, this is Zanesville right here, the portion of this county that's in the district, Barack Obama won in 2012. And in 2016, Donald Trump carried it by almost 30 points. Those are the kinds of swings we're talking about. So again, that's the other question here for Democrats. They want to run up the score right around Columbus. They want to be right around where Clinton was in Delaware County. They want huge turnout here. And then that's the other question. Can they improve? Can they get back somewhere close to where Barack Obama did in the other part of that district? Can they erase that Trump surge in those non-college white, the blue-collar white part of the district? It's going to be a fascinating story. Two very different parts of the district that went like this in 2016. And again, this is it. This is the last major special election test before the midterms. Democrats would dearly love to win this one. Republicans hoping they don't have another PA-18 on their hands. 7:30 tomorrow night, Eastern time. The polls close. You better believe we'll be right here as those results start to roll in.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.